Mambo number 5. Episode 5 of Sick of the Pundits. How are we doing, guys?
And thanks. Very good. How are you, Josh?
I'm great. Liverpool won the league.
League champions. Sorry, I don't know what that was.
Louis, what's happening today, Louis?
Today, episode 5. Welcome to the viewers, Sick of the Pundits, episode 5, where we discuss the key sporting stories and issues. On today's episode, we will be discussing what was a hot poll on our Twitter page. Who was a better captain, Jordan Henderson or Steven Gerrard? For all the viewers out there, don't forget to visit our Twitter page, our social pages on Sick of the Pundits on Twitter and Instagram, where you will find our daily polls. We encourage your opinions, views, and discussion on them. Secondly, we will be discussing a list of top 4 predictions made at the start of the current season from the BBC TV pundits. Only 3 pundits, predicted Chelsea would be finishing in the top 4. We'll see if Alex and Josh think Frank Lampard is overachieving in his first season as manager there. Thirdly, we will be discussing Manchester City. Are they on a potential downward spiral after this current season ends? We'll give you a discussion on both sides of the coin on that. To wrap things up, we've got Josh's wild take, where he delivers us a story or piece of punditry which astonishes the footballing world, or our opinion, obviously. And as ever, we will be finishing on Alex's unpopular pundit quote. So, guys, we have a lot to get through. News just in, actually. Unfortunately, former Liverpool player Andre Wisdom was stabbed in Merseyside. I believe, just reading reports, this is unconfirmed, unofficial, but he was stabbed in Merseyside. So, obviously, just for the start of this pod, thoughts go out to him, and we hope and wish him a speedy recovery and that it's not too serious. So, guys, Liverpool won the league. I guess that there's only one place we can start. Obviously, we are very happy about that. Chelsea helping us win the league. Guys, thoughts? How's your week's been?
It's been great. Wait, hold on. Chelsea did not help us win the league in any way, shape, or form. Let's just put that out there. We were 23 points clear. We were always going to win it. It was such a good feeling. It was a bit bittersweet as well. Obviously, the fact that we couldn't celebrate together and whatnot. But first Premier League in my lifetime. Hopefully, many more to come over the next few seasons as well. So looking forward to it. I was so excited. I went out in the garden. I was singing. Our neighbour, like 3 doors down, was screaming from his roof, full Liverpool kit and everything. Just like, we are the champions. We are the champions. It's like at 10 o'clock. I went outside. I started singing along with him. I was too excited, so I had to go on a run. I went out in my Liverpool top with my flag. Went on a 5K run around Wembley and Alperton, just singing. I went with the Mrs. Steph. She took a couple of videos of me. It was pretty bad, but yeah, you can't hold the excitement in. I was so happy.
Definitely,
so yeah,
definitely.
great times.
Josh, first win for you. Seeing Liverpool finally win the Premier League in the flesh. How are you feeling this week about it all?
It was crazy. So I was losing my mind. I was prepared for it though. So I went down to Asda. Asda has a great deal right now. I'm not promoting Asda because Asda needs to sponsor us or something. But Asda had a great deal. They had you can get I think it was 4 ciders for £6 or something like that. So man, got there, got like 12, and yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was a good little atmosphere. My son was going to sleep, so I was making a lot of noise. Do you know what? My son is the golden child of Liverpool Football Club because essentially since my son's been born, he's seen Liverpool win Champions League and seen them win the Premier League. It don't get better than that. It really don't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Jimmy don't understand.
No, he doesn't have a clue. But yeah, no, it was great. I mean, to see, I'm happy for Jurgen. It's weird. I'm happy for Jurgen because that guy gives everything into our club, and then he made it happen, man. He turned our club around. He made some incredible signings. We lost some incredible players, but he filled that up with some superb signings. And then everybody's just so bought into his idea of football. I heard the True Geordie talk about it earlier today, and it's like almost like an American style of, we're going to work harder than you, regardless of how good your team is. We're going to work harder than you, and that's exactly what our team embodies. We don't play as fantastic football as Man City. We're not that far behind, but we suffocate teams, and we saw that against Crystal Palace. It showed it in so much. We battered them 4-0, and the last couple of minutes, we were still chasing them down, still hunting them down. We were the team that was 20. We were the team that was chasing the titles. But the reason why our team played like that is because we were disappointing against Everton. It seems like right now Liverpool are so connected, from the owners to the players to the fans. It's just a really good moment to be a Liverpool fan right now, and long may that continue.
Yeah, I think hopefully the first of many titles under Jurgen Klopp. First topic, guys, though, Jordan Henderson versus Steven Gerrard. As mentioned earlier, this was a hot daily poll on our Twitter page. A look at the results, actually, it was just a slight split in favour of Steven Gerrard, in case you guys hadn't seen. I'm sure you check that page every day, however. So big thank you first off to everyone who voted so far on our page. Keep checking our page just to blast that out again. Josh, Jordan Henderson's got 2 major trophies now. Tell me, why would you think he's the better captain over Steven Gerrard?
Okay, so exactly what I mentioned earlier. That he's a better captain than Steven Gerrard because for a couple of reasons, but I think he embodies what Klopp wants, and that is, he's not fantastic, but he works hard. Jordan Henderson works hard on the pitch. Probably one of the hardest working players on the pitch. Then you've got his leadership skills. He's not afraid to stick his leg in. He's not afraid to bark at the referee. And he leads by example in that sense as well. I think he's a better captain than Gerrard because Gerrard led by what he did on the pitch, whereas Jordan Henderson is an overall, he brings players together. We've heard about that. He's bringing players in the England group. He was the one that took the lead when Gomez and Sterling were beefing. He was the one that brought them together. So he leads by example on and off the pitch, and I think it's showing this now. And Steven Gerrard is my favourite Liverpool player of all time because Steven Gerrard had to work with dog shit players for most of his career, but he was the one that kept leading through that. Whereas Jordan Henderson's career has been like, I'm the ultimate underdog, but now we're seeing him improve in his leadership and him thriving in this Liverpool team forward. And when he's not there, we miss him. So I give a lot of props to Jordan Henderson. For me, he's the better captain.
Nice one, Josh. Alex, I saw you shaking your head in disagreement at a few points that Josh was making. Should we always judge trophies in a situation like this, or overall influence? Steven Gerrard was unfortunate to be playing in a team that didn't quite have the quality to win the league, you could argue. However, you could also argue he carried the team throughout the whole of his 16-year career. Surely he's the better captain? What would you say?
It's not kind of a question of like who's the better captain. It's more so like horses for courses. Some players may prefer Gerrard as a captain. Some players may prefer Hendo. I think for myself, if I was playing in a team, I would prefer Gerrard as a captain. I don't think I would want to listen to Hendo harping on about track your runner all the time. But if I saw my captain doing it, for example, then it would make me do more. Especially in terms of the ability side of things. Obviously, Hendo hasn't got that much ability compared to Gerrard. So if I'm looking up to a player and expecting somebody to do something, especially it being my captain, then Gerrard would obviously be able to stand out one with that. Like, imagine Hendo's telling me, oh, I can't shoot from 20 yards and he should be. I was like, it's not like he's that good at it. And don't get me wrong, he scored a few belters. But you get my point. His ability isn't there. So is he a better captain than Gerrard? Gerrard's legacy is like next level. Of the fact that he's carried us, like Louis said, for how many years of the strike that we've had. For me, Gerrard has to be the better captain. But if I'm a player kind of thing, if I'm playing in that Liverpool team, I'd pick Gerrard over Hendo personally.
I think as well with the Steven Gerrard aspect of it as well, you have to look at the fact that the actual vocal leader throughout the Steven Gerrard years was actually Jamie Carragher. It wasn't actually Gerrard. Like I said, Gerrard led from example, whereas vocally, you could say it's always been Jordan Henderson. And like, even though we have great captains within the team, You've got Virgil van Dijk, for example, who, as soon as he joined, people are like, including myself, is like, oh, well, he should be captain of Liverpool. But even he still gives it to Jordan Henderson.
So just because Hendo's like, a bit more vocal and shouts a bit more than the average person, it makes him a better captain than Gerrard. Nah, come on.
What makes him a better captain than Steven Gerrard is the fact that he brings players together. And I don't think Klopp would have been as successful without Henderson. I'm gonna go out and say it. I don't think he would have been as successful.
You can arguably say he would have been more successful with Gerrard.
Yeah, you could say that. But I would also say Steven Gerrard would probably have been more successful if he had Klopp as well. So, but that's not what we're arguing here. We're not arguing that though. We're arguing he's better captain, Steven Gerrard or Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you were the one that brought up. So let's not try and stick it on me now, yeah. But
all right, Alex, man, we're not in a court of law, yeah. It's definitely a fascinating discussion. We had quite a fair bit of interaction with the tweets. So again, thanks to everyone who did vote. And yeah, I'm sure it's definitely a topic we can come back to in the future. Guys, let's move on. Second topic, the BBC TV Pundits top 4 prediction list was brought to our attention earlier this week. We were shown a tweet on Frank Khalid UK's page, who's a Chelsea fan. Shout out to Frank Khalid UK for his tweet on the 27th of June. Top 21 pundits on the list with the likes of Alan Shearer, Jermaine Jenas, Alex Scott. Chelsea by 3 of them to finish the top 4. We suspect they thought the transfer ban would impact a lot harder on them than it has. Leicester were not predicted at all to finish in the top 4. And as a side note, over half of the pundits, so 13 of 21 on that list, predicted Arsenal finishing in the top 4 spot.
Pundits. Ain't got a clue up there.
Firstly, just to disclaim, positions are not set in stone. Of course, we know that. Anything can happen between now and the end of the season. We discussed in a previous episode Chelsea's credentials, especially with them signing Ziyech and Timo Werner. Alex, would you say Frank Lampard's overachieving with them currently in the 4th spot and then beating City earlier in the week? They've defied the transfer ban.
Yeah, of course they're overachieving. Well, I mean, overachieving in a sense to what these so-called experts have said. But in terms of what their actual aspirations were for the seasons, I'd say they're right on par. Looking to finish in the top 4 and cement a Champions League spot for next season, where they would bring in top quality players. Josh, obviously in earlier episodes, mentioned that Frank Lampard isn't a good manager and that Chelsea aren't a good team and blah, blah, blah. But look at them. They're comfortably in the top 4 at the moment. And they're going to be playing comfortably in the top 4. Well, they're comfortably making Champions League football if City obviously get the transfer ban.
Yeah.
So it's like they've had a great season, in my opinion. They could still win the FA Cup too. If they get a trophy at the end of the season, I'd say that's a successful season for them.
Josh, as Alex alluded to, you've been critical of Frank Lampard in the past. With the transfer ban lifted, could we be seeing a Chelsea that cements top 4, if not higher, next season?
So Chelsea have done well this season.
They've done well.
Hold on. Asterisks. We like using, a lot of fans like using asterisks. Okay, let's use an asterisks. Asterisks. Yeah. Tottenham's been terrible. Arsenal's been terrible. Manchester United's been underwhelming, kind of. They're getting out of their funk. And even Man City's been terrible. So the usual top teams have all been pretty pathetic this season, let's just say. I mean, we're probably the only one that's been super consistent. So I look at Chelsea and I think, yeah, Chelsea's done well. Chelsea done well. They've done okay. But Frank Lampard is his first season. So the players are playing out. And he played a bunch of young boys who they're like gun-ho. Let's look at facts though. Chelsea, before they came back, didn't win a game. Didn't win a game this whole year before they came back after COVID. That was the first game that they won. So on a normal season, on a normal standard season when all the teams were performing pretty well, they wouldn't have got away with that. Yeah, they had a fantastic start.
That makes no sense.
No, but what I'm saying to you is, if Frank Lampard comes with that same form next season, he will not make top 4 because I think the top teams will be back next season. So, the question is, has Chelsea done well? Yeah, they've done well in a terrible season for everybody universally. However, is that same form going to make them finish top 4? I don't think so.
What for next season in your hypothetical mind?
So hypothetical mind, my top 4 next season includes.
All right, let's do this and revisit
and
it next season.
then you record me and Chelsea fans. I know how you lot stay. Pull this up. Top 4 next season, Chelsea. No, I'm joking. Top 4 next season. I got Liverpool. Depending on Man City, if they get banned or not, I still think they make top 4 anyway. Man City, Man United, and Tottenham.
How are you going to comment on next season? You haven't even seen any of the transfers. You're a guy.
I just got a feeling. Do
you know what else?
I'll tell you what, guys. Will Chelsea win the FA Cup this season?
They have a very strong chance.
No chance.
Well, naturally, they're in the semi-finals.
No chance. They don't have a chance. I'm a hater. I'm a Chelsea hater. What can I say? You always need one, innit? That's me.
Well, do you know what's worth mentioning as well? Ruud Gullit thought that they were going to finish second this season above us. Fucking hell, that is awful. Second. What are these guys ain't got a clue? Oh God, it's awful.
He must have made that prediction after smoking something.
That they sell in Holland.
In Amsterdam. Moving on. Next topic, guys. Something we were discussing in our group earlier in the week. Are we witnessing the demise of Manchester City? With City potentially out of Europe next season with the ban impending, Pep Guardiola's contract expiring at the end of the 2021 season, are they in decline? Josh, are the wheels falling off?
Okay, so I brought this up in our group chat. So I'm going to say this here. Are they in decline from the standards that they set? If they get a ban, I think so. If Pep leaves, I think so. Pep said, so for me, Pep has changed English football forever because now you have to damn near get over 90 points to win a league. And that's what Liverpool have risen to. And that's why I think we're going to win the league next season because there's the only managers who've shown that they're capable of doing that standard is Pep and Klopp, nobody else. So with that being said, will Man City be in a bit of a decline? This whole season, they lost their spiritual leader in Vincent Kompany, didn't replace him. The players that they're going to lose now, David Silva, he's going.
The spiritual leader.
Fernandinho, he's getting on a bit. Aguero, he's getting on a bit. Is Jesus a proper replacement for Aguero? I think jury's still out. He could have a fantastic season. The only person who I can feel who can leave Man City out of this is De Bruyne going to stay if there's a ban? I doubt it. He's 29 in this peak of his career. He could go to any team in the world if he wanted to, including Liverpool. I would love him there. And then you've got Raheem Sterling, who again, we've got we've got a friend who's quite close to Raheem and stuff like that. I don't like speculation and things like that, but if Raheem did get an offer from a top team in Spain, I'm pretty sure he'll leave, especially if there's a ban. So if you're looking at that, that's the nucleus of this Man City team. It's aging. The managers in the last year of his contract might not stay. And then you're looking at the fact that will these players stay if there's a ban? Probably not. So I'm saying Man City will decline, not from the standards that they've set, which is a very high bar, a bar we've never seen before. I'm not saying they'll fall out the top 4, but I'm saying they'll lose a lot of players.
What's a decline though? Like not finishing first or second?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like they'll be battling for top 4 potentially next season, is what you're saying?
And you have to say as well, Man City's are funded by a country, so are they gonna fall off a cliff? Probably not, unless the owners leave. But if they do get a ban, it's going to affect them quite financially. It's going to affect them. Don't care how rich you are. If you're still having to pay players a ridiculous amount of money, not being in Champions League, it's going to hurt you. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's going to hurt them in the pocket. Oh, I hope they get it, man. It would be so good. It's like the worst timing for them to get it too.
100%. Some very interesting points here, Josh. Alex, City could potentially still do a cup double this season. A week is a long time in football, as they say. Are we looking too much into the future and trying to predict a demise? Are we more hopeful of a demise, or is it realistic potential?
I mean, I'm always hopeful for a City demise. It would just bring a smile to my face if that happens. I play for a Man City football supporters club on Sunday, and and they know I'm a Liverpool fan. So if I go there and they get the ban or whatnot, it's gonna be so much fun. But it's not. I actually don't think it's far off to say that they could be on a big downward spiral. I mean, if that ban does come in, you've got a lot of players there that could be looking to leave, because it's not like they got any major ties. They haven't got any homegrown players. Nobody really wants to live in Manchester. No offense, Manchester, but
Take offense, Manchester.
Wow.
Take offense.
But most of the players are like want to go abroad. Like they're happy to go abroad to go to other clubs. They don't have any qualms about that, or even playing in other teams in the Premier League. So they do have a big problem. They could, don't get me wrong, they could still have a successful season. They're still on for the treble, right? They can still win Champions League,
Carling
League
Cup,
FA Cup. Yeah, so they could still finish like in a really good place at the end of this season, even rivaling ours if they do win. Or three, some would even argue even a better season if they do win the Champions League. But next season,
I wouldn't say they would have a better season, because you're finishing 20 odd points behind the league leaders. That's never going to be a good season, not for Pep's team. And I think that comes back to it as well. Real Madrid are on really good form at the moment. I think they'll give everything to win Champions League when they face Man City. I'm not saying Man City will lose, but I wouldn't want to face this Real Madrid team coming up. And then you're looking at it as well. This season would be an absolute will be a shocking failure if they don't win Champions League. They have to win Champions League for Pep, because this would be like Pep's worst season ever. Let's be honest about this. Like Pep is an elite manager, one of the best managers to ever grace the game. He's going to finish 20 odd points behind Liverpool if he doesn't win Champions League. Absolute failure.
But
The decline is now.
Fourth. He finished fourth once his first season, wasn't it? Or was it his second season?
Yeah.
So you could argue that was his worst season. I mean, if they win the Champions League, you could definitely argue that's 3 trophies, three or 4 major trophies.
When he finished fourth, I bet he wasn't 20 odd points behind the league leaders then. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, but then if you got the Champions League and 2 domestic cups, it's like if we had that last, I'd probably say the same thing.
Just as a side question, actually, you mentioned the Spanish teams there, Josh. Well, is it fair to say that City and Barcelona are potentially mirroring each other, as in aging squads, potentially on the decline, not performing to the highest level that we're sort of used to from those clubs? Barcelona signed Pjanic and got rid of who did they get rid of? Arthur. Yeah, I don't know. That didn't seem to make much sense. Adding another 30-year-old to their squad. You mentioned Real Madrid are sort of building a young, youthful squad. Are there mirrors? Are there coincidences in both these clubs? Would you say?
I just spent the last 2 minutes slating Man City. I tell you what, though, I wouldn't want to be Barcelona. Barcelona, and again, Barcelona fans get at me. Corner, take it quickly. Literally, Barcelona fans, look at this here. When Messi retires, you're basically AC Milan. I'm gonna come out and say it. You're AC Milan. You're AC Milan. Your team's old. There's nothing there. You're AC Milan. When that boy decides to hang up his boots, you lot are done.
It could be a blessing in disguise. You got all the other supporting cast that could maybe step up. Griezmann, arguably, he'll have a bit of a better role.
Will Griezmann still be there?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying if Messi goes, like a lot of the vocal point of Barca is through Messi, and if Messi isn't playing well, then that's where it goes bad.
And this is why also Ronaldo's my GOAT now, because you go to Messi, you play in a Barcelona team. If you're not fitting how Messi plays, you're not going to stay there for a long time. Look at Coutinho. Oh, poor Coutinho. Griezmann as well now. Oh,
what do you mean poor Coutinho? Not poor Coutinho. He wanted that.
Yeah, but still.
Poor Coutinho. I take it back though. One more thing as well. One more thing. Alex. You see, with what you were saying about Real Madrid and City, it's arguable that Madrid currently have more to play for, so their attention is also with the league and the Champions League. So the advantage maybe in City's court.
But isn't Champions League going to start up again when all the leagues are finished? It's starting in August, isn't it?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'm here.
Okay, fair enough.
We don't check facts.
We don't check facts out here. Yeah.
We'll discuss that one in the future. We don't check facts. All right, guys, that was great takes on the football topics. Wild takes this week, Josh. What have you got for us?
So, wild takes.
Oh, snap.
No intro.
No intros.
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for Alex or someone.
I don't have a guitar. There's a ukulele in the other room, but should I get it?
You're not getting a guitar, guys. We're going to have to edit the interlude in here. Shall I just sing my intro? Well, it takes... No. Well, it takes 10 years later.
Do I need to get involved in this segment?
I can't lie to you. I tried to find the ukulele. It took too long.
I don't know what this
Wow,
guy's doing.
takes. Alright, guys. To be honest, yeah, that was terrible. But my wild take this week. Look at my eyes. Bruce Gobler, you have to come out to the field. Bruce Gobler, you're an absolute Liverpool legend, and that little shake thing you did. Well done for that. Spaghetti legs, as Alex just called it. Spaghetti. But Bruce, you cannot say certain things like this. Mbappé can't get into the Liverpool team. Are you nuts? Are you mad? What is wrong with you? I saw it on the ESPN FC.
What did he say, Josh? What did he say exactly?
Do you know what he said? I haven't got the quote up, but he said on the lines that, look, Mbappé probably wouldn't get into the Liverpool team. He'd probably have to stay on the bench. Everybody would want to join Liverpool right now. He said something along those lines. Bruce Gobler.
I've got the quote, because obviously we do verify our facts here. If Mbappé comes to Anfield, he's going to have to prove his worth up front. That's for sure. Whoever comes to Anfield, as you see with Minamino, he's going to have to improve a hell of a lot more to get into the side. Please put Mbappé and Minamino in the same sentence. Thoughts? Alex, give me an opinion on that.
Bruce. Hold on. Bruce, do not ever
Minamino and Mbappé.
And Mbappé in the same sentence. Slap yourself 1,000 times. Just slap yourself. You're crazy. You've lost your man.
God.
What a joker. I can't believe that. I don't even want him to be. He's not a Liverpool legend no more. You can't talk nonsense.
Alex, does Bruce have any point of view at all that you can support here?
Yes, 100%. Look at this. All right, let me lay this out. Let's lay this out.
Go on.
Where does Mbappé play mostly? Where's he play mostly, guys? Left wing.
Right wing.
Never up.
I think.
Left wing, right wing. Never up front, right? Are we dropping Salah?
Not after this week, no.
Not after this week, no. Are we dropping Mane?
Alex, I'm going to fight you.
I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate, but legit, are we dropping any of our wingers?
Probably not.
No, but here's what you do.
Come first.
Hold on.
Come first game. Wait. No. I need to make my point. Come first game of the season. Where is Mbappé playing?
Looks like he's on the subs bench.
Next to Minamino. No, guys, no. Hold on.
So wait, hold on. As well. So are you going to say now that the whole system is now going to change for Mbappé? Is that something Klopp would really do?
Yes. Yes. Hold on. Mbappé, what? The World Cup winner? That guy? Are we talking about the same guy? We're talking about Minamino's cousin. What we did here?
I'm just asking, where's he going to play? I'm just asking, where's he going to play?
Hold on there.
Where's he going to play?
Mbappé, here's what you do.
Where's he playing?
How many times has Salah played up front for us? Quite a few times now. A few. So here's what you do. Yeah. You put Mane on the right, you put Mbappé on the left. That's it. That's all you do. And then Salah up front, and then guess what you drop? Guess what you put with Firmino plays? Firmino, you play at that number 10 role, the same role that we bought, the same role that we brought you into. That's the role that we brought you into.
Who drops out in the midfield?
Maybe Genie.
Fabinho has to start. Yeah,
maybe
Fabinho
Genie
and Hendo have to start then, no?
Yeah, simple.
So
yeah.
Okay.
Because,
yeah, I mean,
there
you
go.
definitely
Bruce Gobler, shut the hell up.
Can we just
shut the hell up, Bruce Gobler?
Just trying to play. Yeah, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Of
shut
course,
the hell up, Bruce Gobler.
Mbappé starts in any team in the world. Mbappé starts.
That was a thoroughly enjoyable wild take this week, Josh. Definitely one of your best.
Oh god. Not the best intro though.
Oh, well, did you do it?
Well, it takes. See, I got you singing it. That's the win.
All right, that was Mbappe, that was Grobbler, that was Minamino. Alex, what have you got for us in terms of an unpopular pundit quote?
Oh yeah. So Jamie Redknapp once said, "Will Chelsea qualify with ease? I think they will, but it won't be easy."
Oh, Jamie Redknapp. Liverpool former players are doing the worst things in the world.
Oh wait, is it? We don't discuss that. We don't discuss the unpopular pundit quote from Alex, do we? We leave it, don't we? So we've got to leave that one. Just to wrap this up, guys, as mentioned earlier, please follow us. To all the viewers out there, please follow us on the socials. We can be found on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. We are looking to launch a website in the upcoming future. We'll have a Facebook page available. Just lastly, to probably reiterate, a big thank you to anyone who does interact with any of our tweets, any compliments we get on our social pages. We appreciate
criticism,
opinions, suggestions, and even criticism when it's constructive.
Even if it's not.
Josh, Alex,
give it.
Actually, we enjoy the abuse, especially when it's headed Josh's way. Anything you want to leave us with?
So we put up a video on our Instagram about Anthony Joshua. Just to reiterate again, the missus doesn't care about Anthony Joshua.
Yes, she does.
So, well, about your own one. Get out of here. Get out of here.
And also, guys, we're on Spotify now as well. So.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention that. Yeah, we are on Spotify. Keep up the. Please listen to us over whatever platforms you can find us available on. Anyway, guys, hope you have a very good week. I'm sure you will. Stay safe. Stay safe to all the followers, all the viewers out there. And till next time, if there's any topics you want us to cover, do get in contact. Otherwise, wash those hands, stay safe, and bye, everyone.
Premier League champs.